welcome back. I'm Lori Williams. I am a psychic medium, energy healer, animal communicator, and spiritual teacher. And today is part three of a three-part series that I'm doing about emotional resiliency. And today we're going to be talking about allowing your emotions to go through you. So this specifically pertains to people who have gotten into a place in your own healing journey where you find that sometimes like the emotions, the patterns of emotions come up even though you've done all the healing, and there's seemingly nothing that it's attached to, that the emotion is attached to. So I'll give you an actually prime example. So on New Year's Day of this year, for some reason I was just like super like easily agitated, easily irritated, and I recognized that about myself like very very quickly. In fact, I basically just locked myself in my office because I was just on edge for some reason. And I knew that I could feel it, obviously, in myself, but I also knew that it was there for a reason, although I didn't feel like the reason was important. I actually asked myself the questions that I talked about in the last two parts of this series, and like asking myself the process of like, where is this coming from? What is it meant to teach me? And I was just coming up with nothing. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna sit with it. And like I talked about in part two of this series, I always give myself a timeline. Usually it's about 48 hours. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to let this sit with me. I've been really diving deep into pushing myself more to sit in the uncomfortable and the heavy, because it's hard. That's the truth of it. It's hard. But we're very capable of doing hard things. And I'm learning more and more about my capacity to do hard things. And the interesting part of that is when you do hard things, your capacity rises. So I encourage myself all the time. I'm like, okay, this anger, this resentment, or whatever it is that I'm feeling, this easily irked feeling that I have, it's there and it feels heavy and I don't like it. It's not comfortable, but I'm not going to move it away. I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm just going to let it be. And that's exactly what I did. I sat there in non-judgment. I just allowed it to sit with me. I went about my day. Um I did things to try to make myself like bring myself joy or happiness. Usually, my work usually does that for me. So thankfully, I do have a home office that I could kind of lock myself away in and be able to work a little bit. I had done journaling. I had done crystal healing session on myself. I had done meditation on myself, like a meditation, doing anything to just let myself just be, but to really nurture myself through this process as well. Because it was heavy and it was uncomfortable. But you know what? I got through it. And I went to bed that night, and I was still feeling it. I woke up the next day; it was still there. Not not near as much, maybe like 25% of what it was, but it was still there. So I let it even sit with me for that day as well, for the second day, and I knew it was there. But as the time went on, and this is the amazing part of it for me, is it didn't feel as heavy. It didn't feel as foreign or as unwanted. It never became comfortable, but it stopped being uncomfortable. And at that point, by the time I went to bed that night on the second, I didn't have that feeling anymore. It's 11 days later now, and I still don't know why I had that feeling. But that's not the point of it. The point of it isn't to try to figure everything out or understand everything that's going on. I think a lot of people in spiritual circles, myself included, have gotten kind of stuck in this wheel of oh, I'm feeling this. It's got to mean something. Let's figure it out. And in most cases, it does. But there is a time to just let things be as well. And I'm trying to learn for me what is that balance of healing, but also allowing things to just be. And everybody has to figure that out for themselves as well. A lot of the times, what I have found is that these seemingly random emotions come up because they're linked to a pattern. So, say for an example, um, anxiety. I'll use anxiety as the example. So when I was feeling like when I was struggling with anxiety, I would always have like heart palpitations and feel very anxious that way. And then, sure enough, like as soon as the heart palpitations and the sweaty palms started, I knew I was going to be having an anxiety attack. That was my normal. It had happened like so many times a day that I was just used to what my signs were. But now I still once in a while I'll still get a heart palpitation or I'll still get the sweaty palms. I'll be like, now I don't jump to, oh my goodness, I'm having an anxiety attack. Now I'm just like, okay, cool, it's there. I'm fine. There's nothing. I'm looking around me. I'm safe. I'm secure. I'm grounded. There's nothing. There's no reason why I'm having that. But my body is still having that reaction. And a lot of the times when I feel these emotions that are seemingly random, what they actually are is they're attached to a pattern. So that emotion that I feel, that anxious emotion that I'm feeling, technically it's a fear-based emotion that I'm feeling, is tied to back when I had anxiety. I'm slowly being able to shift that out of my body by learning to just let it be, let it just be what it is. It doesn't get to define me. It doesn't get I get to choose. Do I want to get myself worked up and tell myself, "Oh goodness, I'm having an anxiety attack," which will then cause more anxiety, or do I want to continue to tell myself that I'm safe, that I'm secure, that I'm grounded, there's nothing wrong? I'd be like, "Okay, it's cool. It's there." Like, all right, heart palpitations and sweaty palms, we're going to hang out for a bit, and that's going to be okay. It's going to feel heavy, and it might feel awkward for a while, and that's okay too. But eventually, that pattern in your body starts to change. There is nothing that you will ever do by hating yourself through it. You have got to give yourself love and compassion through everything, every change that you're trying to do. So, by me being like, oh my god, I hate being anxious so much. Like, I don't want to be anxious anymore. I don't want to have those patterns or those signs or those symptoms anymore. I want them just to all go away. That's not going to help me. I come from a place of non judgment. I come from a place of love for myself, and I come from a place of compassion for whatever it is I'm feeling. And it really does get to be that simple. And slowly but surely, the patterns are changing. Every time I allow an emotion to move through me, I am changing the course of the patterns of the way I have been taught or the way I have been programmed, or even like most of it has been unfortunately by myself because of my environment, my perception of my environment. And now that my perception is not the same, my body might still have a physical reaction, my emotions might have a reaction, but my perception is different. So I'm in a different place. This is healing. This is all part of healing. Thank you so much for joining me for this series. I have totally appreciated anybody who has watched this series and continues to support all of my videos. If you're new to me, welcome. If you are not new to me, I appreciate you just the same. And thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you back here next time. Until then, take care. Bye for now.